The stars stretched across the black sky like diamonds scattered on velvet. Most of them were familiar to the galaxy, trade routes, colonies, and war zones that had defined civilizations for centuries. But in the corner of the galaxy that humans once called home, one system remained almost forgotten. To outsiders it looked empty, dead, and meaningless. Yet it was here, on the remote planet named Ardent, that humanity had survived. For generations, humans had hidden. After the Great Wars, after the alien empires had hunted them nearly to extinction, humanity had vanished from galactic maps. Some believed humans were myths. Some whispered about them in fear, remembering the old stories. Warriors who could fight for days without sleep. Ships that could tear apart entire fleets, and a stubbornness that defied reason. But no one had seen a human in hundreds of years. Ardent was a barren world. Its skies were a deep orange, choked with storms that rolled across deserts and rocky plains. Human cities here were few and small, hidden in valleys and caves carved over generations. The cities were not grand, they were practical, strong, and built to last. Humans had no desire for fame. They had survived in silence, learning from the mistakes of the past, training their bodies and minds, and preparing for a day that no one else thought would come. Commander Elias Kane stood at the top of a high observation tower in Ardent's capital, Nova Haven. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with eyes that had seen far too much for a man of his age. But he did not look tired. There was fire in his gaze. Around him, other humans moved quickly, checking equipment, studying star charts, and preparing for a mission that would change the galaxy forever. "This is it," Kane said quietly, almost to himself. "The time has come." He turned to his second-in-command, Lieutenant Mara Chen, who had trained with him since childhood. "Are the fleets ready?" he asked. Mara nodded. "All fleets are ready, sir. The cloaking systems are functional. The weapons are calibrated. The scouts report no alien patrols near our exit points. We can leave in 5 hours." Kane smiled, but it was not a happy smile. It was a smile of determination. 5 hours, then. Humanity leaves the shadows. In secret hangars beneath the surface, the human fleet waited. Ships of all sizes gleamed under dim lights. Some were small and fast, meant for reconnaissance and quick strikes. Others were massive, bristling with weapons that even the galaxy's strongest powers had never seen. Engineers and mechanics worked tirelessly, checking every system twice, 3 times. Humans had learned long ago that mistakes could cost everything. Outside, the storms of Ardent raged. Lightning tore across the sky, thunder shaking the mountains. But inside the hangars, the fleet was calm. There was no panic, only preparation, discipline, and the quiet hum of engines waiting to roar. Young cadets moved among the ships, their eyes wide with excitement and fear. They had grown up hearing stories of humanity's old glory, of battles that had torn through star systems, but they had never seen the galaxy beyond Ardent. Now, they were about to become part of history. Lieutenant Chen walked beside Kane, watching the fleet. "Do you think the galaxy is ready for us?" she asked. Kane shook his head. "No, and that is why we must be ready. They think we are gone. They think we are weak. They think we cannot fight. All of that will be proven wrong." The sun of Ardent was setting, painting the desert red and gold. It was beautiful, but Kane did not have time to appreciate it. Every second counted. He walked to the main command center, where a holographic map of the galaxy floated in the air. Dots and lines marked known colonies, trade routes, and patrol zones. Kane traced a path with his finger. "This," he said, pointing to a cluster of systems far from Ardent, "is where we begin. We strike quietly. We reclaim what is ours, not with noise, not with announcements, but with precision. And when they hear our name again," he paused, letting the words hang, "they will tremble." Mara Chen watched him carefully. "Commander, will they really believe us? After all this time?" Kane turned to her, eyes steady. "They will not believe us at first. That is their weakness. They will underestimate us, and we will use that. Humans survive because we adapt, because we are patient, and because we never forget. The hours passed quickly. Night fell over Ardent, and the storms calmed. The fleet was ready. Every ship had a crew of skilled pilots, engineers, and soldiers who had trained their entire lives for this moment. Families and friends watched from the observation towers, proud but silent. They had waited for centuries for this day. At last, Kane gave the order. Launch the fleet. Humanity returns to the stars. One by one, the ships activated their engines. They rose from the hidden hangars like a swarm of silver arrows, piercing the red sky. Cloaking systems activated, and soon the fleet vanished, from all sensors. To the galaxy, the skies of Ardent were empty again. But to those who had survived here, the galaxy would never be the same. The first jump through hyperspace was smooth. Kane stood on the bridge of the flagship, the Resolute, watching the stars stretch into lines of light. The crew was tense, but disciplined. Every eye was on the mission. Every hand was ready. "This is it," Kane said again. No one left behind, no mistakes. Humanity moves forward. Even in hyperspace, the humans were aware of the galaxy watching them. Somewhere, distant patrols might detect anomalies, signals might be picked up, rumors might spread. But for now, silence surrounded them. They were ghosts, returning from myth to reality. Suddenly, a young cadet ran onto the bridge, eyes wide. "Commander, sensors detect an unknown ship ahead." Kane raised an eyebrow. "Show me." On the main screen, a small alien patrol craft drifted through the system ahead. It was sleek, fast, and armed. It had no idea what it was about to encounter. Kane smiled. "Prepare a demonstration," he said quietly. The human fleet moved like predators. Small fighters broke off, surrounding the alien ship. The larger vessels held back, watching, ready. The alien crew sent a hail. Kane leaned forward, speaking into the comms. "This is the Terran Union. You are not authorized to patrol this sector. Depart immediately." There was a pause, then static, then silence. "Interesting," Kane said. "They have no idea who we are." Within moments, the alien ship attempted to flee. But the human fighters were faster. They flanked it, forcing it to stop. Kane spoke again, his voice calm but commanding. "This is your only warning. You will tell the galaxy what you have seen. Humanity has returned, and we will not wait any longer." The alien ship trembled under the gaze of the humans. It had never faced anything like this. Within minutes, it disengaged and fled, leaving a trail of panicked signals in its wake. The first strike had been quiet, precise, and terrifying. Humanity had returned, not with fireworks, not with declarations, but with action. And the galaxy would feel it soon. Kane looked out at the stars again. "This is just the beginning," he said. "The galaxy will remember humanity. They will remember us not as myths, not as ghosts, but as the force we truly are." In the distance, new stars awaited. Systems once lost would be reclaimed. Fleets once scattered would be rebuilt. The Terran Union was back, and the universe would never be the same again. The fleet jumped into hyperspace, leaving behind the forgotten planet of Ardent. But Ardent was not forgotten by its people. It had been their home, their cradle, and their secret. Now, it would be the first step in humanity's rise to reclaim the heavens. The galaxy had grown quiet in the years since humans were last seen. Trade routes were steady, patrols were routine, and governments spent more time arguing than preparing for war. Every species believed that humanity was gone forever, extinct, a ghost story whispered across generations. But now a silent fleet had appeared from nowhere. Ships moved faster than any known patrols could detect. Weapons gleamed, shields shimmered, and the humans advanced without warning. Deep in the Solaris system, an alien patrol ship cruised lazily through the asteroid belt. Its sleek hull reflected the light of a distant sun. Captain Rylan, a veteran of the Archon Wars, leaned back in his command chair. "Another quiet shift," he said to his crew. "No threats, no pirates, no surprises." But the sensors suddenly flared. Strange readings appeared on the screen, large objects entering the system at impossible speeds, cloaked until the last moment. The crew gasped. "What is that?" Rylan asked, narrowing his eyes. The communications officer stammered. I cannot identify it, Captain. Unknown signature, very strong." Rylan's hand went to the comm panel. "Hail them. Identify yourself." Static answered. Then a voice, calm, firm, and filled with authority. "This is the Terran Union. You are not authorized to be in this sector. Leave immediately." The crew froze. "Terran Union?" one officer whispered. "Humans? They said humans." Rylan's heart raced. Humanity was supposed to be extinct. Stories of humans were old, terrifying myths. No one had seen them for centuries. And yet here they were, speaking like nothing had changed. "Report," Rylan shouted. "Are they armed?" "Sir, they are unlike anything in the galaxy. Their fleet, it's enormous, powerful. Even our patrol ships could not hope to match it." Rylan clenched his fists. "We must retreat, warn the Council. Humanity is back." Meanwhile, Commander Elias Kane watched from the bridge of the Resolute. The alien ship's hesitation pleased him. They did not know what they faced. That was humanity's advantage. "Keep formation," Kane said. "Do not attack unless necessary. Let them carry the message." The alien ship tried to flee. Small fighter escorts moved to intercept, but the human fleet's speed and precision were unmatched. Within minutes, the alien patrol was forced to retreat, leaving a trail of panic signals to every system in the sector. In the council chambers of the Galactic Assembly, alarms blared. The highest leaders of multiple species crowded around holographic displays, all showing the same message. Human ships had reappeared. The readings were unmistakable. Ancient human designs had been detected, but with upgrades far beyond what the galaxy had ever seen. Ambassador Thalik of the Solarians banged his clawed hand on the table. "This is impossible. Humans were destroyed. We all saw the archives." The Archon delegate, a tall, sharp-eyed being, shook his head. "Impossible. Or not, they are here, and their fleet is not weak. I have never seen technology like this even in the deepest war archives." The council erupted into chaos. Some argued for immediate retaliation, fearing humanity's power. Others warned caution. Humans were cunning, patient, and unpredictable. No one wanted to act first, but no one wanted to be unprepared. Back in deep space, the human fleet moved with silent purpose. They were not attacking yet, they were reclaiming. Systems that once belonged to humanity were being scanned, surveyed, and prepared for occupation. Human engineers began sending covert signals to ancient outposts, waking them from decades of abandonment. Aboard a small human scout, Cadet Lyra Voss watched her screens with excitement. "Captain, we're detecting multiple abandoned colonies. They've been untouched for centuries." Captain Jace Holt, a veteran pilot, nodded. "Exactly. We rebuild, we reclaim, we do not destroy. Humans never destroy what can be restored." Meanwhile, alien worlds were reacting in fear. Traders halted their routes. Governors closed borders. Scientists frantically studied old archives, trying to understand how humans could have survived, hidden in the far reaches of the galaxy. Rumors spread faster than any news network. The humans are back. They are alive. They are stronger than ever. On the planet Vexar Prime, the alien military assembled its fleets in record time. Admiral Corrin, known for his cunning, studied the reports of human sightings. "If they are real, we cannot underestimate them. History shows humans are relentless fighters. They do not surrender. They do not negotiate. We must prepare for war." But preparation alone was not enough. Even with their strongest fleets, alien leaders worried. Humans were not just strong, they were disciplined, strategic, and united. Other species had fractured over centuries, but humans had endured, hidden from view, training for a single purpose: to return. In the Solari system, Captain Rylan watched from the bridge as more human ships appeared. They moved with precision, avoiding unnecessary destruction, yet their presence alone was terrifying. He sent another hail. "Terrans, We request parley. Identify your intentions. The response was calm. We reclaim what is ours. We do not seek unnecessary war. We fight only when provoked. Humanity has returned. Inform your leaders. The galaxy will know our name. The alien crew was shaken. They had faced many wars, many species, yet none had prepared them for this. They realized their fear was not a reaction to weapons alone. It was a reaction to history. Humans had been underestimated once before, and the thought of repeating that mistake filled them with dread. Meanwhile, Kane observed everything. Let them speak. Let them spread the word. Fear is an ally. He turned to his officers. This is the first contact. Do not underestimate their reactions. Some will flee, some will resist, and some may even try to ally. We will see which is which. In the galaxy's capitals, news of human sightings reached every species within hours. Traders spoke in hushed tones. Scientists reviewed old battle footage. Politicians debated the risk. Even ordinary citizens who had grown up thinking humans were a legend whispered the words in awe. Humans are real. They are alive. On a remote world, a small alien child pointed at the sky. Mother, look. Ships. They're glowing differently. Her mother shook her head. It cannot be. Humans disappeared long ago. They are gone. Yet everywhere, from the largest cities to the smallest outposts, humans were becoming a symbol once again. A symbol of strength, endurance, and mystery. A myth reborn in reality. Back on the Resolute, Kane smiled. This is only the beginning, he said. The galaxy will try to stop us, but we are ready. Humanity has waited, hidden for centuries. Now we take the first steps toward reclaiming what was lost. In hyperspace, the human fleet moved silently from system to system. They surveyed abandoned colonies, repaired old stations, and reactivated ancient defense grids. The humans were cautious but deliberate, showing discipline that no alien species could match. And everywhere they went, rumors spread faster than light. Traders, explorers, and scouts all reported the same terrifying fact. Humans were back. Humans had survived. Humans were stronger than before, and the galaxy had no choice but to remember them. By the time the first alien fleets arrived to intercept the humans, it was already too late. Humanity had prepared hidden in the shadows for centuries. Every system they entered was fortified, every fleet strategically positioned. The aliens were no longer the hunters. They were the ones being watched. Kane looked out at the stars again. They thought we were extinct. They were wrong. Humanity is back, and soon the galaxy will understand why no one should ever underestimate us. The first contact was over, but the story had only begun. The galaxy was awake, trembling, and afraid. And humanity had returned not as ghosts, not as myths, but as a force that would shape the stars once more. News of humanity's return spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Every corner of the known systems buzzed with rumors, reports, and speculation. Traders halted shipments, fearing human raids. Governors locked down entire star systems. Scientists scrambled to understand how a species believed extinct could return with such strength and speed. For the aliens who remembered the Great Wars, fear returned with a vengeance. Stories of humans' ferocity, once dismissed as myths, resurfaced from dusty archives. Entire fleets had been destroyed in battles where humans were outnumbered 10-1. Yet somehow they had always survived. Cities had fallen, colonies had burned, but humanity had never truly been defeated. On the Archon homeworld, Admiral Corrin paced across his command room. Holograms of the human fleet hovered above the table, showing every known ship, every detected movement. They are methodical, Corrin said, voice low but tense. They do not rush blindly. Every strike is calculated, every move planned. They are perfect predators. The council members around him nodded. Some were pale with fear. Others gritted their teeth, unwilling to show weakness. We cannot fight them the way we fought other species, one said. They are different, smarter. faster, stronger. Meanwhile, Commander Elias Kane was already several systems ahead of any alien response. The Terran fleet moved silently through the stars, activating long-abandoned colonies and starbases. Humans repaired old stations, upgraded defenses, and reclaimed key resources without wasting a single life. Every move sent a clear message. Humans were back, and they were not here to negotiate. On the bridge of the Resolute, Kane studied the galaxy map. "We must be careful," he said. "Some will flee, some will resist, some may even try to ally with us. We observe first. We strike only when necessary." Lieutenant Mara Chen checked reports from a nearby sector. "Commander, we have detected an alien mercenary fleet approaching the abandoned colony on Zethar. They are heavily armed and moving fast. They clearly want to test our strength." Kane nodded. "Good. Let them test. They will learn what we are." The human fleet moved with silent precision. Small scout ships shadowed the mercenaries, tracking their every maneuver. When the alien fleet attempted a sudden strike, human fighters intercepted them with surgical accuracy. Missiles were intercepted, shields held firm, and every human ship acted as if connected by a single mind. Captain Jace Holt, commanding a human wing, smiled. "They think they can surprise us. Let's show them the cost of underestimating humanity." The battle was short, decisive, and devastating. The mercenary fleet, once confident and arrogant, was scattered within hours. Human ships did not linger for destruction. They disabled, captured, and left behind a clear warning. "This is what happens when you challenge humanity," Kane said, addressing the fleet through comms. "We do not seek needless war, but we do not forgive weakness. Let the galaxy remember this lesson." Across the stars, alien civilizations watched in fear. Their patrols had been defeated by a fleet they had believed to be a myth. Traders and citizens whispered stories of humans' abilities, recounting how ships moved faster, fought smarter, and used strategies that no other species could imagine. On Vexar Prime, Admiral Corrin studied the reports from Zethar, his claws tightened around the console. "They are unstoppable. Every fleet we send, they counter. Every colony we watch, they occupy. They are not just returning, they are reclaiming." In the neutral systems, leaders debated what to do. Some proposed forming alliances to resist humanity's advance. Others argued that no alliance could match human strength and discipline. Scholars and historians were summoned to provide records of past wars. Old footage of human battles once forgotten was replayed endlessly. Fleets moving like predators, ships striking without hesitation, soldiers fighting with unmatched courage. Even ordinary aliens began to fear the very mention of the word human. Stories of human survival against impossible odds became truth again. Across the galaxy it was whispered, "Humans do not surrender. Humans do not flee. Humans always win." Meanwhile, humans themselves remained disciplined. They did not boast. They did not celebrate unnecessarily. Every victory was used as preparation for the next challenge. Every system reclaimed was a step toward restoring humanity's place among the stars. On Nova Haven, the hidden human world, a group of scientists transmitted signals to other human settlements across the galaxy. They were reconnecting colonies, re-establishing communication networks, and creating a network of support that would be impossible for any alien species to disrupt. Cadet Lyra Voss watched the transmissions with wide eyes. "We are everywhere now," she said, barely believing it herself. Captain Jace Holt smiled. "Yes, Cadet. Humanity is alive, and the galaxy will soon know it. But we must remain vigilant. They will try to stop us, and we cannot afford mistakes." As humans advanced, alien spies tried to infiltrate the fleet. They were quickly discovered and captured. Kane used these incidents not for punishment, but for a message. The spies were returned to their species with warnings, explaining that humans preferred diplomacy when possible, but any attack would be met with overwhelming force. This strategy worked like a whisper of fear across multiple systems. Some species began surrendering key territories without resistance. Others hesitated, unsure if they should fight or flee. Humanity's reputation, once a story of the past, had returned in full force. In one particularly tense encounter, a coalition fleet tried to ambush a human convoy moving through a neutral sector. The humans, expecting the ambush, countered flawlessly. Using tactics that combined speed, precision, and overwhelming firepower, the humans destroyed half the enemy fleet and captured the rest. Not a single human ship was lost. Commander Kane stood on the bridge of the Resolute watching the aftermath. "Every move we make is a message," he said. "We are not here to terrorize. We are here to reclaim. But we are ready to defend ourselves at any cost. Let them see humanity's strength." The galaxy was beginning to understand a truth that had been forgotten for centuries. Humans were predators. They were relentless, intelligent, and united. No species had faced anything like them before. The stories that had once terrified civilizations were no longer legends, they were reality. Even the Galactic Council, a body that had once dismissed humans as extinct, began to act in fear. Emergency meetings were called, fleets were mobilized, plans to counter humanity were drafted and debated endlessly. Yet everyone knew that nothing in the archives could prepare them for what was coming. Humanity had waited in silence for centuries, and now they were moving with unstoppable force. In the midst of this, humans showed another side of themselves. When encountering abandoned colonies, they repaired infrastructure, restored resources, and left behind notes of peace for any returning inhabitants. They were warriors, yes, but also caretakers. The galaxy began to whisper another story. Humans were not just strong, they were wise. They fought when necessary, but they built when possible. Back in the Archon system, Admiral Corrin slumped in his chair. They are everywhere. They move with purpose yet without chaos. Every attack we plan, they anticipate. Every strategy we use, they counter. They are humans. And they were. Humans had returned not as myth, not as ghosts, but as a disciplined, united force that no one could ignore. The galaxy's fear grew daily, matched only by awe and respect. Humanity's legends were true, but now the galaxy was about to see them as more than stories. They were a reality that could not be stopped. "Commander," Kane looked out at the stars from the Resolute. The human fleet moved silently across the galaxy, reclaiming what was theirs. Every system, every colony, every starbase brought them closer to their ultimate goal, a place in the heavens that humanity had always deserved. "They thought we were gone," Kane said softly, almost to himself. "They thought humans were extinct. They were wrong, and they will never forget that mistake again." The galaxy trembled. Whispers turned to reports. Reports turned to alarm. Every species, from the smallest trader to the largest empire, now knew the truth. Humanity was back. Humanity was strong. Humanity was united. And humanity would not be denied. The stage was set for the battles to come. Systems would fall. Fleets would clash. And the galaxy would learn a lesson it had once forgotten. Never underestimate humans. The galaxy had never been so silent and so afraid at the same time. Every species knew that humans were alive again, and the news had spread like wildfire. Traders whispered it across space lanes. Scientists pored over old archives, shaking, their heads in disbelief. Military leaders debated endlessly how to respond to a force they had believed extinct for centuries. Yet in the midst of fear, humanity moved with calm precision. The Terran fleet was no longer a secret. Small skirmishes had already proven human strength. Colonies had been quietly reclaimed. Outposts had been repaired and fortified. And now it was time for humanity to reveal itself fully, not as whispers or shadows, but as a force that demanded recognition. Commander Elias Kane stood on the bridge of the Resolute, his eyes scanning the star map. A dozen systems ahead were key points once controlled by humanity, ancient colonies, trade hubs, and defensive stations. Everyone had been abandoned for centuries. Now, They would be reclaimed. Lieutenant Mara-Chen approached. Commander, the fleets from the Council are gathering. They have detected our movements. We cannot remain hidden much longer. Kane nodded. Good. Let them see us. Let them tremble. The galaxy must understand the Terran Union is back, but remember, we strike only when necessary. We do not start wars, we finish them. The first world to be reclaimed was the old human colony of Solara Prime. Its surface was scarred from centuries of neglect. Cities were crumbling. Defense systems were offline. But humanity had returned to restore what had been lost. Engineers and soldiers worked side by side, repairing power grids, repairing ships, and restoring communications. Citizens who had remained, or those born on the colony after humans were thought extinct, watched in awe as Terran engineers activated stations and defenses. News spreads across the colony's communications. We are humanity. You are not forgotten. Solara is home again. Commander Kane observed the work from orbit. This is the message we must send to every corner of the galaxy, he said. We do not conquer for glory, we reclaim what is ours, we restore what is lost, but we will defend it at all costs. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council was in panic. Emergency meetings were called across multiple systems. Admiral Corrin paced the council chamber, slamming his claws on the table. They are taking our systems, without firing a single shot. They repair, restore, and fortify. If we do not act now, they will be unstoppable. Ambassador Thalek of the Solarians spoke, voice trembling. We underestimated them. Every report confirms it. They are united, disciplined, and relentless. Entire fleets we sent to monitor them were either destroyed or captured. The Council debated options. Some demanded immediate war. Others warned that humanity's return was not a threat. They argued for diplomacy. But history had shown that humans were unpredictable, intelligent, and prepared. Few could deny the truth. The galaxy had forgotten what it meant to fear humans, and now that fear had returned with a force no one could ignore. Back on the Resolute, Kane studied the galaxy map again. It is time for the declaration, he said. The Terran Union exists once more. Every species will hear our name. Every system will know humanity has returned, and every fleet that tries to stop us will learn the cost of underestimating our kind. Lieutenant Chen raised an eyebrow. Are we ready for that level of exposure, Commander? The Council's fleets are numerous. Many will come against us at once. Kane's eyes were calm, steady, and unyielding. Let them come. We are ready. Humanity does not fear history. We learn from it, we adapt, and we survive. Now, it is time the galaxy remembers that humans are never to be ignored. The broadcast was transmitted from orbit, across every sector, to every listening station, every trade hub, every colony. We are the Terran Union. We were not defeated. We were not destroyed. We survived in silence. We return not to beg, not to bargain, but to reclaim what is ours. Humanity exists. Humanity is strong. And the galaxy will remember us. The reaction was immediate. Across multiple systems, alarms blared. Ships scrambled. Citizens stared at their screens in disbelief. Entire fleets changed course, some in panic, some in preparation for battle. Traders halted their shipments, fearing human interception. Governments issued emergency orders. The legend of humanity was no longer a myth. It was reality. The Terran fleet moved forward, reclaiming old stations and colonies as they went. Each system became stronger under human control. Old defense grids were reactivated. Starports were repaired. Ships long abandoned were restored and refitted. Every reclaimed system sent a clear message. Humanity was alive, organized, and unstoppable. In one particularly tense encounter, a coalition fleet attempted to blockade a key human system. They underestimated the Terran strategy. Using a combination of stealth, speed, and overwhelming firepower, humans outmaneuvered the coalition. Within hours, the fleet was either destroyed or captured, their ships added to the growing Terran arsenal. Captain Jace Holt, commanding a wing of human fighters, smiled as he watched the battle unfold. They thought they could stop us, they thought wrong. On the surface of reclaimed colonies, humans repaired infrastructure, distributed food and medicine, and re-established communication networks. Citizens whispered among themselves, "We were not forgotten. Humanity is alive, and they are here to protect us." Elsewhere, alien intelligence agencies reported unusual patterns. Humans moved with unity and purpose, unlike any other species. They coordinated across hundreds of systems without confusion. Every fleet, every colony, every station acted as part of a single organism. Admiral Corrin and other council leaders watched reports in horror. "They are not just strong," Corrin said, "they are perfect. Every move, every strike, every action is precise. They fight when needed. They rebuild when possible. They do not panic. They do not falter. Humanity is unstoppable." Despite the fear, not all aliens were enemies. Some saw an opportunity to ally with humans, hoping to gain favor or protection. Envoys traveled cautiously to Terran-controlled systems, offering support. Kane considered these alliances carefully. Humans had endured betrayal and war for centuries. They knew who could be trusted. Allies would be welcomed. Traitors would be ignored. As the Terran fleet moved closer to the Sol system, old homeworld of humanity, the anticipation grew. The stars around Sol had been quiet for centuries. But now humans were returning to their cradle, ready to reclaim their rightful place. Commander Kane stood on the bridge of the Resolute, staring at the distant blue planet. "This is the day," he said softly. "The galaxy will see that humanity never surrendered. We were hidden, we were patient, but we have returned to take our place among the stars, and they will know that the heirs of Earth are not to be challenged." The fleet moved closer, formations tight and precise, every ship ready, every weapon calibrated, every soldier trained and disciplined. The return to the Sol system was more than a military maneuver. It was a statement. Humanity had survived the impossible. Humanity had waited in silence. Humanity had returned to reclaim the heavens. At the same time, fleets from the Galactic Council began to gather. They were large, numerous, and armed with the most advanced weapons known. But even they had to pause, watching the Terran fleet approach. Reports of previous battles, of human strategy and precision, spread faster than the ships themselves. Doubt and fear grew among their ranks. Could they really face a species thought extinct? The stage was set for confrontation. Humanity had declared itself. Systems were being reclaimed. Fleets were in position. The galaxy had no choice but to respond. The galaxy trembled. Reports of human fleets moving through dozens of star systems had reached every corner of known space. The Galactic Council scrambled to respond, assembling the largest armada it had ever raised. Millions of ships, bristling, with weapons, engines glowing with power, were directed toward the Terran Union. The galaxy's most advanced fleets were ready to crush what they believed was a fledgling threat. But the humans were ready. Commander Elias Kane stood on the bridge of the Resolute, looking out at the star field. The fleet stretched for hundreds of kilometers, perfectly organized. Every ship was ready, every crew trained, every weapon calibrated, and beyond the steel and energy, there was something the galaxy had forgotten. Humans were fearless, disciplined, and relentless. Lieutenant Mara Chen approached. "Commander, the Council fleet is massive. They outnumber us at least 5-1. Kane nodded. "Numbers do not win wars. Strategy, discipline, and courage do. Humanity has survived the impossible before. We will do it again. Prepare the fleet. Humanity roars today." The first clash took place above the Sol system, the cradle of humanity. The Galactic Council's fleets formed a blockade, intending to crush the humans before they could reclaim their home. But the Terran Union moved with precision. Smaller ships flanked enemy positions. Larger warships struck in coordinated waves. Every move was calculated, every action precise. Captain Jace Holt led a wing of fighters through the Council's front lines. Missiles fired, shields deflected, and alien vessels were cut down faster than they could react. His voice over the comms was calm but commanding. "Stay focused. Remember your training. Humanity survives because we never panic, and we never hesitate. Hit hard, hit fast, and hit together. The alien commanders were stunned. Reports from their fleets poured in. Human ships moved with unmatched coordination, using tactics no species had ever seen. Entire squadrons disappeared in moments, only to reappear behind enemy lines, striking key targets. Their weapons were powerful, but their strategy was sharper. Admiral Corrin, watching from the Council command station, slammed his claws on the table. They cannot be this organized. They cannot be this strong. How is this possible? They have been waiting, Ambassador Thalic said quietly. They learned. They adapted. They survived in silence. And now, they are the predators. We are the prey. Meanwhile, Commander Kane directed the human fleet with calm authority. Target their command vessels, he ordered. Strike where they least expect it. We do not fight to destroy everything. We fight to end resistance swiftly and decisively. The humans were relentless. Entire alien formations were broken in hours. Ships that had once considered themselves invincible were destroyed or captured. Yet the humans did not celebrate unnecessarily. Every victory was used to reinforce positions, repair damage, and prepare for the next wave. In the midst of the battle, Kane sent a broadcast across all channels. You thought humans were extinct. You thought we were gone. You were wrong. Humanity has survived. Humanity has returned. And we will not be denied. Every system we reclaim is a warning. Every ship we disable is proof. The heavens are ours once more. The message spread quickly, shaking alien fleets across multiple sectors. Panic replaced strategy. Many fleets faltered, unsure whether to retreat or fight. Entire commanders questioned their choices. The legend of humanity, once thought extinct, had become a living reality that the galaxy could not ignore. Back on the front lines, human pilots moved like a single organism. Cadet Lyra Voss, flying her first real battle mission, watched in awe as her squadron executed maneuvers they had trained for since childhood. Enemy ships approached from multiple directions, but humans anticipated every move. Missiles intercepted, enemy shields neutralized, lines broken and flanks exposed. Humanity never falters, she whispered. We are unstoppable. By the second day of battle, the Terran Union had broken through the Council's main blockade. Command vessels were disabled, supply lines disrupted. Alien morale was collapsing. Fleet after fleet surrendered rather than face certain defeat. Commander, Kane moved carefully. Do not destroy what can be captured. We fight to survive, but we also fight to rebuild. Humanity will not only survive, we will restore order where chaos ruled. On Sol, civilians and colonies watched transmissions of the battle. They saw human pilots executing maneuvers that no one had thought possible. They saw warships larger than any alien fleet could produce, moving with terrifying precision. And they saw humans fight not for conquest, but for survival, unity, and honor. In one critical moment, Kane directed a strike on the Council's main command station in orbit above Sol. The station was heavily fortified, shielded by hundreds of ships. But humans were patient, disciplined, and strategic. Using feints, diversions, and synchronized strikes, they penetrated the defenses. The station's command network was disabled in minutes, leaving the Council fleet in chaos. Admiral Corrin's voice shook as he tried to regain control. We cannot stop them. Retreat. Retreat now. But retreat was too late. Humans surrounded the remaining fleets. They offered one final chance for surrender. Many complied, raising flags and deactivating weapons. Others resisted and were swiftly neutralized. By the end of the third day, the battle was over. Humanity had proven its might, its intelligence, and its unity. Commander Kane addressed the surviving alien commanders through the communications channels. The Terran Union exists. Humanity has returned to claim its place among the stars. You fought bravely, but history is not on your side. Remember this day. Remember humanity. We are not myths. We are real, and the heavens are ours. Silence fell across the galaxy. Everywhere, from the largest empires to the smallest outposts, beings, listened in awe and fear. Humans were no longer a legend, no longer a ghost. They were a living, unstoppable force, united and disciplined, rising to reclaim what was theirs. After the battle, humans moved to secure the systems. Colonies were restored. Trade routes reopened under Terran oversight. Communications networks reactivated. The Terran Union was no longer hidden. It was a galactic power, and yet humans remained calm. They rebuilt what had been broken, protected those who were loyal, and strengthened their defenses. Commander Kane looked out at the stars from the bridge of the Resolute. "We survived when they thought we were gone," he said softly. "We endured when they thought we would fail, and now the galaxy has seen what humanity truly is. We are strong, we are united, and we will never be forgotten again." Lieutenant Mara Chen stood beside him. "What now, Commander?" Kane's eyes were steady. "Now we continue. We reclaim every system that belongs to humanity. We rebuild what has been lost, and we prepare for any challenge the galaxy might throw at us. Humanity has returned, not to beg, not to bargain, but to endure, to thrive, and to rule as it should." The fleet moved onward, systems falling under Terran control with quiet precision. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Humans were not extinct. Humans were not weak. Humans were predators, survivors, and rulers. And no species would ever underestimate them again. In every star system, whispers spread. Humans are back. They are everywhere. They are strong. They are united. They cannot be stopped. The heavens had been retaken. Humanity had returned, and the galaxy would never forget it.